Xi Jinping, born June 15, 1953, is a Chinese politician who has been the General Secretary of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and Chairman of the Central Military Commission, CMC, and thus the paramount leader of China since 2012. She has also been the President of the People's Republic of China, PRC, since 2013. As a member of the fifth generation of Chinese leadership, she is the first CCP General Secretary born after the establishment of the PRC. The son of Chinese Communist veteran Xi Jinping, she was exiled to rural Yinchuan County as a teenager following his father's purge during the Cultural Revolution. He lived in a Yaodong in the village of Lianjiahe, Shaanxi Province, where he joined the CCP after several failed attempts and worked as the local party secretary. After studying chemical engineering at Tsinghua University as a worker-peasant soldier student, she rose through the ranks politically in China's coastal provinces. She was governor of Fujian from 1999 to 2002, before becoming governor and party secretary of neighboring Zhejiang from 2002 to 2007. Following the dismissal of the party secretary of Shanghai, Chen Liangyu, she was transferred to replace him for a brief period in 2007. He subsequently joined the Politburo Standing Committee, PSC, of the CCP the same year and was the first-ranking secretary of the Central Secretariat in October 2007. In 2008, he was designated as Hu Jintao's presumed successor as paramount leader. Towards this end, she was appointed vice president of the PRC and vice chairman of the CMC. He officially received the title of Leadership Corps from the CCP in 2016. While overseeing China's domestic policy, she has introduced far-ranging measures to enforce party discipline and strengthen internal unity. His anti-corruption campaign led to the downfall of prominent incumbent and retired CCP officials, including former PSC member Zhou Yongkang. For the sake of promoting common prosperity, she has enacted a series of policies designed to increase equality, overseen targeted poverty alleviation programs, and directed a broad crackdown in 2021 against the tech and tutoring sectors. Furthermore, he has expanded support for state-owned enterprises, SOEs, advanced military-civil fusion, and attempted to reform China's property sector. Following the onset of COVID-19 pandemic in mainland China, he initially presided over a zero-COVID policy from January 2020 to December 2022 before ultimately shifting towards a mitigation strategy. She has pursued a more aggressive foreign policy, particularly with regard to China's relations with the U.S., the Nine-Dash Line in the South China Sea, and the Sino-Indian border dispute. Additionally, for the sake of advancing Chinese economic interests abroad, she has sought to expand China's influence in Africa and Eurasia by championing the Belt and Road Initiative. Despite meeting with Taiwanese President Ma Ying-jeou in 2015, she presided over a deterioration in relations between Beijing and Taipei under Ma's successor, Tsai Ing-wen. In 2020, she oversaw the passage of a national security law in Hong Kong, which clamped down on political opposition in the city, especially pro-democracy activists. Often described as an authoritarian leader by political and academic observers, Xi's tenure has included an increase of censorship and mass surveillance, deterioration in human rights, including the internment of Uyghurs in Xinjiang, a cult of personality developing around Xi, and the removal of term limits for the presidency in 2018. Xi's political ideas and principles, known as Xi Jinping thought, have been incorporated into the party and national constitutions. As the central figure of the fifth generation of leadership of the PRC, she has centralized institutional power by taking on multiple positions, including new CCP committees on national security, economic and social reforms, military restructuring and modernization, and the Internet. In October 2022, she secured a third term as CCP General Secretary and was re-elected state president for a third term in March 2023. Xi Jinping was born on June 15, 1953, in Beijing, the third child of Xi Jinping and his second wife, Qi Xian. After the founding of the PRC in 1949, Xi's father held a series of posts, including party propaganda chief, vice premier, and vice chairperson of the National People's Congress. She had two older sisters, Qiao Qiao, born in 1949, and Inen, born in 1952. Xi's father was from Fuping County, Shaanxi. She went to the Beijing Bai School, and then the Beijing No. 25 school in the 1960s. He became friends with Liu He, who attended Beijing No. 101 school in the same district, and who later became China's vice premier and a close advisor to Xi after he became China's paramount leader. In 1963, when he was age 10, his father was purged from the CCP and sent to work in a factory in Luoyang, Hunan. In May 1966, the Cultural Revolution cut short Xi's secondary education when all secondary classes were halted for students to criticize and fight their teachers. Student militants ransacked the Xi family home, and one of Xi's sisters, Xi Jinping, was persecuted to death. Later, his mother was forced to publicly denounce his father, as he was paraded before a crowd as an enemy of the revolution. His father was later imprisoned in 1968 when she was age 15. In 1968, she submitted an application to the Bai Schools Reform Committee and insisted on leaving Beijing for countryside. On January 13, 1969, they left Beijing and arrived in Liangjiai village, Yan'an, Shaanxi province, alongside the Mao Zedong's Down to the Countryside movement. The rural areas of Yan'an were very backward, which created a big gap for Xi as a teenager. He once recalled that he had to overcome 5 hurdles: flee, food, life, labor, and thought hurdle, and the experience led him to feel affinity with the rural poor. After a few months, unable to stand rural life, he ran away to Beijing. He was arrested during a crackdown on deserters from the countryside and sent to a work camp to dig ditches, but he later returned to the village, under the persuasion of his Aunt Qi Yun and Uncle Wei Zhenwu. He worked as the party's secretary of Liangjiahe, where he lived in a cave house. He then spent a total of 7 years in Yanchuan. In 1973, Yanchuan County assigned Xi Jinping to Zayajia village in Jiajianping Commune to lead social education efforts. Due to his effective work and strong rapport with the villagers, the community expressed a desire to keep him there. However, after Liangjiahe village advocated for his return, Xi went back in July that same year. Liang Yuming and Liang Yuhua, the village branch secretaries, supported his application to the Chinese Communist Party. Yet, due to his father, Xi Zhongshuan, still facing political persecution, the application was initially blocked by higher authorities. Despite submitting 10 applications, it wasn't until the new commune secretary, Bai Guangxing, recognized Xi's capabilities that his application was forwarded to the CCP Yanchuan County Committee and approved in early 1974. Around that time, as Liangjiahe village underwent leadership changes, Xi was recommended to become the party branch chairman of the Liangjiahe Brigade.